I want to take you to this now. The funeral of the Xaba family in Soweto, who tragically lost 3 members, including a 1-year-old child, after their double-storey home collapse, is taking place right now. 3 others have been trapped underneath the rubble and were rescued and rushed to hospital. Authorities say the family occupied the property illegally, which was deemed unfit for human settlement rather. We, of course, going to be speaking to our reporter Mbalenhle Mthethwa in a short while. But it's important to note, of course, that the city of Johannesburg had reached out to the family and had conducted a visit that was led by the MMC of Finance in the city of Johannesburg, Loyiso Masuku, where they engaged the family to establish in what ways they can assist the family for this funeral. This house was built on ground and, of course, land where the structural integrity of the land, of course, was deeply compromised due to years of mining that had taken place there. And it is often the case that mine shaft collapses happen in the area as a result of that. And this house was unfortunately built on that land. The family did, however, say that they were not aware of the declaration that it was unsafe to build upon that land. The funeral took place today. And of course, one of the deceased is a 1-year-old. This is just outside the CBD of Johannesburg, towards the south of Johannesburg as you enter Soweto. We're going to be speaking to Mbalenhle Mthethwa about this and, of course, get a sense of the program where various politicians were seen to deliver speeches and participated in the proceedings. Corruption-accused Colin Mashawana had also delivered a speech at this funeral proceedings that took place there. Earlier on, we also brought you the funeral of the former Deputy Minister of Transport and former Member of Parliament, Dikeledi Magadzi, who was buried in Limpopo. That funeral took place at the Jack Buertes Hall in Polokwane. And of course, the funeral proceedings took place in that hall. However, the burial at the burial site was a private affair with only family as well as select dignitaries attending that funeral. It was a special Category 2 provincial funeral, as was declared by the Premier of the province of Limpopo, Poppy Ramatuba, given, of course, that Dikeledi Magadzi hailed from Limpopo and served a great deal of her professional life as a government official in Limpopo, having been a nurse in her formative years in Limpopo. But let's take you back now to the funeral taking place in Soweto, the Xaba family funeral, where Mbalenhle joins us live now. Mbalenhle, the funeral, at least the proceedings inside the hall, have now completed. What is to come next? Will everybody who attended there make their way to the gravesite?
A very sad day today, as you have seen the loss of 3 generations, as Dr. Colin Mashawane, who is from the Colin Mashawane Foundation, has mentioned, stating that Ugogo, who was 60 years old, lost her 24-year-old daughter and also her grandchild. And no words can actually comfort the family, even though family members and community members have come from long and far to try and communicate their messages of comfort to the family, but those words are insufficient. And we also hear that the Colin Mashawana Foundation will be looking to build a home for this family. And we also heard the Speaker of Council saying that what has happened to this family is just a reminder of the inequality in the country and the need for legitimate as well as dignified housing, and that this story should serve as a reminder to all those who are in positions of authority that there's a need for proper housing for community members. They join me now. I'm going to start with Dr. Colin Mashawana. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. Such sad words, and while you are doing all the work that you're doing, you also acknowledge that it is not enough to take away the grief that the family is faced with right now. Kindly share to us why you feel that way and the work that you have done so far.
Thank you very much to you and your viewers. It is quite a sad day today. But we are feeling much better that we have comforted the family. Since we came on board, all the commitments that we made and said we will do have been done and are in progress, and that's jointly being done by CMF and its partners, including the City of Johannesburg. We committed that we would demolish that structure that had collapsed. We have done so to obviously prevent any further risk associated with that structure. We have supported the family throughout the week in planning today's funeral, and as we promised and committed that they will have a dignified send-off, they are having a dignified send-off today. We've committed that we will build them a new structure, which the team has already started in doing that. As I said earlier on, words alone are not enough. Most of us, when we grieve, when we lose family members and attend and plan funerals, it's mostly for one family member, and we comfort one another based on the age of that one family member. But in this situation, it's 3 generations, 3 family members, 1-year-old, 24-year-old, and 60 years old. None of us have enough words or the right words to comfort the family at the moment. We have left everything in God's hands, and we will continue to support the family going forward.
What I hear you saying is that it was not the City of Johannesburg that demolished the building that claimed the lives of the 3 family members, but it was in fact your foundation that was responsible for the speedy demolition of that building, because we were there when the building came down.
No, the building was demolished by the City of Johannesburg. All the work that is being done to support this family, it's not being done by one entity. It's all a partnership between the city and ourselves and a lot of other partners that are coming on board. And the point I was trying to make is that the commitment made by ourselves as a collective is being delivered, and we are here to ensure that all the other commitments that we continue making, we will ensure they're fulfilled collectively.
Now, yes, indeed, you are assisting in terms of the providing a dignified send-off to the family and everything. But what about the issue of, even though you might be building another structure for the family somewhere else on land that is safe to habit, what about the many people? What is your message to government when it comes to the provision of decent housing?
There is a shortage of housing in South Africa, and there is a huge gap and delay in terms of making provision for housing. Government is aware, and government has acknowledged that, and I believe the Department of Human Settlement provincially and also nationally are doing the work that needs to be done. In addition to just building houses, they are releasing stands for people to be able to build their own houses. But what this case has now taught us as well is that when we hand over these stands, we need to also safeguard on what is being built on that stand or on that piece of land, because people are building structures without taking plans for approval to council, which sometimes leads to the situation that we're faced with at the moment.
Thank you so much for your time. Speaker, the strong words with regards to the provision of housing, as well as the issue of people not following proper processes when building structures. Your words to that, you said that this is a reminder to officials that there is a housing challenge, and not only a housing challenge, but also an issue of inequality.
Well, good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your viewers, and once again, condolences to the Xaba family. I think what we have seen here is, yes, definitely it is inequality. Definitely there is a housing problem which national, provincial, as well as local government needs to address. But as I said, we can't do it alone. We need partnerships, like the partnerships that we got with Dr. Colin and his foundation. That's the type of partnerships that we want. I think you can remember that in my speech when I was MMC of Finance, I spoke about private-public partnership, and that is exactly what we are looking for, so that we are able to deal with the backlogs. But also, our people needs to be educated as to when they go and they put up shacks, as to the danger of putting up the shacks in certain areas. You know that that area is dolomite, you know that the area is not conducive to put up housing, and we need to educate our people. So I think there's a big task ahead of us as government. We need to deal with it. We need to also accept that in some instances we have failed our people by not educating them. So I do believe that this should be a definite lesson to all of us, that we need to do the right things. We cannot have three generations wiped out within a second of an hour.
Thank you. Mzindle, very sad moment for you today. You say goodbye to your mother, to your sister, to your niece or nephew. How are you feeling about the commitments that have been made by the Colin Mashawana Foundation to build a structure? Does it at all assist in any way? I know nothing can ever bring back your mother at this point.
Hi, hello, good afternoon. I'm Zindle here. I would really like to appreciate everything that the foundation have done so far. And I am really impressed by the commitments that they have committed to do, and I am looking forward to whatever that they're going to bring. And I would like to say thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, my heart is at ease because I know that my family is laid with dignity. I'm happy. Yeah, I'm really, really happy.
So that's what was important for you, a dignified send-off for your family?
It was really, really important for me. I wanted nothing but peace, dignified funeral, everything. You know, when you sit with your family, you just one day talk about these things, and we never thought we would have such funeral. That, like, I'm so amazed. I'm very grateful. My heart is at ease. Instead of me crying of heads, these tears that I'm crying today, they are tears of joy. I'm pleased. Thank you so much to the foundation.
It's very important and to have a send-off that is dignified, certainly. And what about the prospects of a new home? How do you feel about that? Do you think it will somehow ease the pain after the passing?
Oh, well, I won't say it will ease the pain. However, at least we'll have something that is good, that is coming, even though we have lost so much lives at the same time. So I really think it's gonna be it's gonna do something in our hearts. Yes, so I am looking forward to the new home that they have committed, that they're gonna build for us. I'm gonna be patiently waiting, and I'm forever grateful. I'm grateful. Thank you to everyone who has put their hand throughout, showed efforts, everything. Yes.
There, that is Mbalenhle Xaba speaking to the SABC for the first time following the funeral of their relatives. And as you can see, the funeral service has wrapped up inside, and they are now heading to the graveside. And as you can see, the family members coming out one by one, and such a strong demeanor from Mzindle Xaba, who has lost not only just a mother, which is a pain that is unimaginable, that barely ever heals, but she says she is eternally grateful to the dignified send-off that her family is receiving, saying she never at any moment in her life imagined that her family would receive such a dignified send-off. The vehicles that are being used, the standard at which, and the service that is being provided to this family is no different to that that of a family that has spent thousands of rands or hundreds of thousands of rands for the send-off. And we're going to step just aside just to show you as more family members come out. This is perhaps the mother, Ugogo, who is 60 years old, who was crushed to death after occupying a building that was a two-story building that was illegally constructed and constructed without following the proper processes. And there you have it. There is a second family member that we presume is Ngobile, who has been described as someone who had a very great sense of humor, who was constantly laughing and made others laugh. And those who spoke and friends who spoke said they would remember the jokes that they shared with her, and that the memory of her laughter and the jokes that she made and the impressions that she could make in terms of when she was sharing those jokes are definitely going to stay with them and are going to stay really deeply etched in their memories for a very long time. The third body, the third generation, with, as Margaret Arnold has stated, that the death of a child is just an indication of a death of a future, the loss of a future, a loss of what could have been, you know. And we are going to, while we're waiting for the third body to make its way out of the household, we're going to try and get the MMC for Health to speak to us in regard to this. We are just asking her to come along and speak to us. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking the time to speak to us. As the MMC for Health, when you hear of such a matter, right, there are those who are pleased with the speed at which emergency services responded and so on. But what do you then say to a family that has lost 3 generations? And as we speak, I'm just going to ask the camera colleague to pan to the little box casket that is making its way into the car right now, and that will be traveling with the mother as they make their way to their final resting place. MMC, what are your words of condolences or of comfort, or what should be done as the health department?
Thank you so much. It is really a sad story. The incident of the 3, like the loss of one person enough, it causes a family to grieve. So imagine the passing of 3 people. It's really a sad story and a tragedy indeed. As the City of Johannesburg, we will be providing psychosocial support through social development. We will be having a designated social worker who will be visiting the family as of Monday and provide psychosocial support to the family until they are at a stage or a state where at least, obviously the grief won't go away, but something would have happened. So we will be providing that. As the health department, we did respond to the scene, and unfortunately the 3 were proclaimed deceased. It's a very short story, but we are going to continue to offer all the support that we can from the health side, and also visit the family for up until we are getting a sense that they are fine.
Do we know how the other 2 children are doing who were in hospital? One of them was discharged. Has the last one been discharged?
Sadly, the other one has passed away. It's a very sad story as well. So the 9-year-old has passed away. So one of them has been discharged. So yeah, it is a developing story, and I don't want to give too much details because obviously the family is going through grief as well. We're still awaiting results, and because the matter is still with the police, we don't want to divulge too much. We don't have the results yet, but yeah, one of them has passed on.
Thank you. There you have it, the MMC for Health confirming that the 9-year-old child that was in hospital, and this is perhaps the breaking news at this hour, that one more family member, one more member of the Xaba family has passed away after the collapse of that illegal structure that they had occupied. And you will know that it was not their private household, their primary household, but rather they had sought shelter there because the shack that they stay in has a problem with flooding because of the environmental factors or the environmental issues, challenges that are prone to an area that has dolomite as well as, that can be described as dolomite, as well as the issue of flooding in those spaces. As I step out of the shot, I would like to hand back to you in studio as the family gets ready to make their way to the graveside where all 3 family members will be laid to rest.
Mbalenhle, thank you so much for that. Really do appreciate it. And of course, the MMC for Health in the city of Johannesburg confirming their live to Mbalenhle just moments ago that the 9-year-old who was trapped under the rubble and was later rescued and rushed to hospital has sadly passed on. The MMC says that this case is still developing and with the police, so they're not able to divulge any further information there. Mbalenhle also got an opportunity to speak to the Speaker of the City Council in Johannesburg to get their reflection on the matters, as well as the corruption-accused Colin Mashawana, who is stepped in to assist the family and will be building them a home through his Colin Mashawana Foundation. This is the very same foundation that has been accused of dealing in corrupt activities with the Independent Development Trust. We'll of course get you more details on the passing of the 9-year-old as and when we're able to.